guys, today I'm happy to report that we only have our shampoo as a back-ordered product, which is very cool. We've done so good in back orders the last couple of months. It's just like, cross your fingers. I hate to say that because we're doing well, and I don't see it getting bad, but remember how it was? It was crazy. And we just, every time I just we have our Monday meeting, our managers meeting, and we talk about, what back orders there are and that, and how long they'll be. I don't have an ETA for the shampoo. Shampoo is the only back order we have, but it's so cool only having a back ordered product here and there. And usually, it's just an ingredient or packaging or something that's kind of given us a little hiccup along the way, because we still obviously have those. But it's very cool, and I absolutely love that. Our promo this month contains collagen renovator, TSX Thermarol, for a savings of $26. We're just working on our next promo, and Milo and I have been working on the next 6 months promos to get them all planned out, but they're very cool. I've told you guys this before. I've used many of your ideas from people in the US. Once somebody wanted a promo of just sales aids, and we tried it, And I remember my dad in a meeting was like, "Who had that harebrained idea?" And I was like, "Okay, well, it was a distributor." And I said, "We're just trying it." And he was like, all of a sudden, it was a great idea. Let's think outside the box. But how it was with him and me, and him giving me a hard time. But it's awesome to think outside the box and just kind of think of some different things that you can do to support and help your business. Some of it will work, some of it won't. But if you ever think you should try this month, then give me a ring or send me an email. I'm starting to get worried about Kaden, you guys. He should be on the call by now. There is no way he's forgotten. This would be hilarious. I just sent him a text, and here's the crazy thing. I could text, this is the issues working with family, right? If I text Tom, I'm like tattling on my nephew, right? Doesn't it feel like that? Like, where's Kaden? I'm not going to get him in trouble. So I'm just going to wait. I'm not going to text Tom. I'll just give him a hard time about next week when we chat. But we have, and today is going to be our wrap up of Turn and Burn. Everybody's been working very hard on their weight loss and on their teams. It's been very cool. A lot of hard work everybody's put out there. And we were just going to do just kind of our last little push for it. Kaden has had some great results. He was going to go over those with us before we moved on to some other very exciting things. Now we've got Mower Mountain that's coming up. I would love it if everyone could come. And we've talked about, we'll do this while we wait for, not as a promo. Let's see, Amy, not as a promo, but I was thinking it would be good to have a glass nose spray empty bottle that people can purchase to put the silver in. Okay. For nasal spray for colds or sinus problems. I like that idea. Otherwise, they can just purchase one themselves from eBay or somewhere else. Yep, I like that. We've also talked, Amy, about, getting one of those. I think it's in my office. I always forget the name of them, where you put it in and you breathe. My dad ordered it for me so that I could get the silver directly into my lungs. What are those called, guys? Does anybody want to unmute and tell me the name of those?
Atomizer.
Yes.
Atomizer.
Thank you. But we were looking at bringing those out as well. So, those little aids for people to use the product and talk to people about the product are great ideas. In fact, we have something coming out in our summer catalog that is like that. It's in that same vein. You guys are going to love it. I mean, this is literally our year. You're welcome, Amy, of having so many cool things. We've talked about a tour in Australia. And I'm putting it off for a reason, because there's something huge we've been working on. Huge. And I don't know if it's gotten out there at all. I don't want to say too much about it, but I'd like to do a tour with it because it's that big. I mean, it's that big and it's very cool. And so I'll let everybody kind of know a few more details about that. It's very exciting, and it will give a lot of distributors a big shot in the arm in their business, something that we've needed to do for a long time. And I don't want to say too much more to kind of say anything about it. I'm going to shoot Kaden one more text. Oh, he answered. He's coming on.
Is there a hint about this product?
What?
Is there a hint about this huge thing that's happening?
There's no hint. If I do a hint, I'll be in trouble. It's way more than a product. It is something very cool. And we have programs and different cool things. This is really a year where every quarter we are coming out with so many cool things. Like I said, the summer catalog itself, I thought I'd probably wait for us. There's some new products that we're bringing out with that, and some different support products with those new products, like we were talking about the atomizer. And I thought, I should wait for that, and because that would be very cool to take those. But what's coming out, we're thinking in September would be, it would just be an amazing tour, and would literally just every meeting that we'd be at would just take the whole time going through this very cool new thing. So I'll keep everybody updated. I always say, can we say a few things here and there? And we are soon going to be sending out samples for some of the different parts and pieces of this cool, let's see, new stuff coming on. Can you send me the link? Yes, I can. Hold on, guys. Appreciate you guys being patient. But sometimes, especially Kaden, he's so freaking busy, you just get caught up in stuff. So all right. You tell him it is sent. So yeah, September, we're thinking. And like I said, once we start sending, and you guys will get some of those too, some of the parts and pieces to test, try out, get feedback, the cat's out of the bag at that point. And you'll know, we'll be able to talk about it a little more openly, a lot more anyway. And so I'm really excited about that. Kind of puts things off. We'll have to talk about, kind of how that works for you guys in that time of year and different things like that. But it also gives us, when we're kind of talking about it in our managers meeting, the ability to talk about what's come out for the summer catalog, as well as what will be coming out in September. And here's Kaden. Well, hello, dude. There he is.
I'm so sorry. God.
I'm like, there's no way he forgot. He's just, but, you have a PowerPoint too, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Yes, you do. Listen, let me just say this about Kaden. Kaden, what's your title again? Remind me.
It is Product Marketing Manager.
Product Marketing Manager. He's literally the busiest person in Sisel. And that is no joke. I'm not joking. I was thinking the other day, just laughing, and just the other story that we were talking about with family, because I said to these guys, with family, it's really hard because I don't want to text your dad and be like, where's Kaden? Because then I'm tattling on my nephew. So, we were in a meeting the other day and Kaden was like, why did you have scary movies? I was only like 7 years old. And I looked back at, we were laughing. Everybody was looking at me like, what? I'm like, oh, he likes scary movies. And now look at him. He's gone to college. He's got this amazing degree. He's got this very fun title. And what he has helped bring to the table. And I've talked to you guys about this really being the year where each quarter is something new, something exciting, and something that I think brings Sisel to a completely different level that we've never been to before. It is very fun. A very fun time to be in Sisel. It's certainly not something that we're going to let up on once this year is over, but it just is going to get more exciting, more exciting. Kaden is behind each and every one of those projects, doing such a great job. So the fact is that he's doing something else right now for the EU, and he knows Australia, New Zealand is far more important, but we'll let him be busy right now. So like I told these guys just now, it's kind of our last little push for Turn and Burn. And we've had a lot of success, a lot of great stories in that. Some of the winning teams have been from Australia, and we just absolutely love that. Yes, woohoo! And Kaden has had his own great experience with that, and some before and after pictures that are pretty amazing. And he and Thomas, when they really want to have a goal as far as going to the gym, losing weight, I mean, they kill it. And I've overheard them talk about going to the gym 5 a.m. in previous months and different things like that. And whatever they have to do, even if it's later at 9 or so, they will do it. It's very cool to see. So having him take this product like everybody else, and you've been married, how long now, Kaden?
Almost a year.
And did you feel like you gained a little weight?
Yes. In January, I was the biggest I had ever been.
Yeah. So that was kind of his push. And he's like, okay, I'm going to jump into this thing. And he did. The results are awesome. So Kaden, I'm going to turn the time over to you. We really appreciate that you joined us. No problem at all. We went over the promos and the back order and some other things, but I'll let you take it from here.
Perfect. Thank you. And yes, like you said, it is a very fun time here to work here at Sisel, but it is also a very busy time to work here. Right now, there is so much going on, from the EU to exciting stuff coming this summer to a whole list, and not even now looking into, it's crazy that summer's already here. Now we're looking into what's coming in fall and what's coming in winter. And we'll sit there with my dad talking about, he's like, I don't know what we're going to do next year, seeing how we've done everything I've wanted to do in the past 10 years, and we're doing it all right now and building up and getting bigger and seeing the growth. So it's very busy right now, but it's a lot of fun. It keeps the days quick. And yeah, and as me being product marketing manager, I got the privilege to be a part of the Turn and Burn launch and being part of the actual creation, to the studies, to the marketing, to everything that was involved in bringing that product to launch. And yes, like Leisel said, I am using it just like everybody else. I have a very strong testimony, which I can go into in just a little bit on Turn and Burn, but seeing the results and knowing, like me and Thomas, yeah, she said at 5, 6 in the morning, we started this company contest right here in the office, and we're non-first, which is a huge testimony to Turn and Burn, seeing how I've lost, as of Thursday, 32 pounds on Turn and Burn, and I'm not in first place, which is huge testimony. I'm actually not even in second place right now in the competition, but there's still 2 more weeks. I'm close and I'm dedicated. And I told everyone from the start that said that they were going to beat me, or that they were going to take first. I was like, you might win the first month, you might win the second month, but when it comes to the long run, you will not beat me. And I've tried to move that into everything that I do in life. People might be smarter, people might have a better start, people might have better situations, but when it comes to the long run and a personal note, that I will not be outbeat. So I'm still going to the gym at 6 in the morning. If I don't make it then, I'm going to be there at 9 at night. But yeah, a little start to my Turn and Burn. testimony that I want to go on. And then I'm going to go through some of the products that I take. And I'm curious, actually, I saw a little chat. I want to see how many pounds did the first, I can't share if they're hearing me or if they're going to hear this, confidential. But when I started, it was in Mexico. And in January, I was on a trip and we were going zip lining, and there's 20 of us lined out, and they're handing everyone harnesses, and they skipped me and one other person, and he was bigger too. And they skipped me and they're giving everyone out harnesses. I'm like, why didn't they hand me a harness? Why'd they skip me? And they had the audacity to bring me the big person harness. And right then I was like, okay, I do not want to be here. I do not want to be the person that they're giving a separate harness to. And even halfway through the trip, right there, I decided to start my weight loss journey. And that's crucial note in my story, because at that same time, right as I got back off, I finished half of the trip on a diet. I started right then. And the following weekend, I went to dinner with a friend, and he was like, you know what? I want to start doing weight loss. And I was like, yeah, like, let's start. And then he eats the cake and he's like, all right, I'm going to do it tomorrow. And I was like, all right. And then we had dinner a month and a half later. And at this point, I was about 20 pounds lighter. And he's like, oh my gosh, you really did it. And I was like, yeah, I said that I started, like, I'm going to stick it out. He was like, well, I haven't started it very much. And I was like, you said you were going to start it tomorrow, and he didn't end up doing it. And then, so he's like, okay, I'm going to start it tomorrow. And then I watched him eat cake again at dinner or at dessert. I'm like, just start it if you want to. And then we met up just a couple weeks later, or actually just a couple weeks ago. I'm like, I'm almost 30 pounds down. He's like, you've really stuck with it. And we're eating breakfast, and they bring out pancakes, and he's watching me. He's like, are you going to eat the pancakes? And I was like, no, like I'm sticking to it. Like, I'm on a diet. When I look at something that looks good, I don't look at it anymore as, that'd be really good to eat. I look at that as, that's going to throw me off my diet. Or I look at like a Snickers bar and I don't think, that's going to be good. I know it is, but I look at that as, that's going to be 300 or 400 calories past what I want to be, which has made it a lot easier to stay on. But then he didn't end up going on the diet. And so my push on weight loss to anyone has been, if you want to start, there's no tomorrow, there's no next week. There's always going to be a family party the next weekend, or something that's not going to be convenient to be on a diet and to be focusing on weight loss. There's never going to be a convenient time. It's always easier to sleep in. It's always easier to go out to eat and get fast food on the way home. It's always easier. So there's never going to be a time that's easy to start. So if it's never easy, then you might as well start today. So through my journey, I'm now down 32 pounds. I've used that strictly with turn and burn. I won't go into as much as the science of the brown fat and white fat, because I know my dad was on here just a couple weeks ago and he talked about that. And I believe he talked about thin. I have used thin religiously to that. To using every morning, every night before a meal, and then actually before lunch, I even use it. So I'm using it 3 times a day. But then besides just weight loss, because I actually just hit my goal this week on, I wanted to be under a certain amount of weight. And now I've already created the next goal that I want to keep going. But past that, less on weight, but also on the muscle building. And what was the meeting? We were on a meeting where we do these product meetings where everyone knows, my dad knows the products better than anybody. And when we're coming up with material, sometimes it's hard to know, just looking at the PIP, what these products do. So we've been doing these product meetings where we go over the science, we go over how it helps in performance, how it helps in health, how it helps in lean, how it helps in all these situations. And my dad was talking about RIP, and he's like, well, it's not really a lean product. It doesn't fit into you're not going to lose weight with ripped. But at the stage that I'm at, I want to lean down. I want to look thinner, but it's not necessarily about looking at the scale anymore. It's not about getting under a certain amount of weight, but now it's kind of building muscle, which can actually gain your weight, but you look thinner and you're building weight. And so we talked about the science of ripped, and it's incredible. We went over how ripped, and I take lean as well. Lean and ripped are perfect combination. They say in studies that, it's arguable in some, you talk to one person, they'll say that you intermittent fast and you eat a lot all at once, or they'll say to eat small amounts of food throughout the day where you don't get the cravings. Because if you're intermittent fasting, come noon, when you're used to lunch, you're going to be craving a lot of food and you're going to have cravings throughout the day. So the way that I like to stick on, and that I've seen a lot of studies on, is eating small amounts of food throughout the day, which Sisel Lean is the perfect low calorie, nutrient dense meal replacement. My favorite part of Sisel Lean is that it's the casein, the whey protein isolate. It is actually designed to clot in your stomach, and which sounds terrible, but it's great because your nutrients, when you come through, a lot of it, if it passes through your digestive system before you can use that nutrients, then it's no good anymore. So you only get some of the benefit. This casein protein is designed to clot and stay there. So your body can actually break it apart. If it needs muscle repair, if it needs brain help, if it needs anything, then your body can slowly break apart this nutrients. The other way to muscle building is when you eat nutrients, you bring it into center part, or you bring it into the body. Your body uses all the nutrients for whatever it needs, but then it breaks down into amino acids, which then you can use what's left over for building muscle. So like your muscles, for example, is all made up of amino acids. And my dad loves to pull out all of his old college biology books. And he was showing me about how everything is just, I can't remember the exact word of it, but it's filament. And then in between, as you work out your muscles, there's basically a bungee in between the filament, and that breaks up and gets broken up. And it either fills up with lactic acid, which prevents from growing stronger muscles. And then if you take the amino acids, then it replaces it instead of lactic acid, allowing it to grow bigger. The branch amino acid that Sisel Ripped has a patent. We only have two products that are patented, Ficoidin and Ripped. And that branch amino chain is made to specifically bypass all of the natural way of bringing nutrients, breaking it down, bypasses that and goes straight to the muscle repair. So that's why it is perfect for building muscle and leaning out. So that's kind of the stage that I'm at in my own journey. Trying to remember a couple other stuff that I talked about. I don't know how much time we have on this, but I want to talk
before and after.
A before and after.
Yeah,
I have an old before and after.
Yeah, that's a great picture.
Let's see. If I pull it up. Yes.
And I love that you're going into the science behind some of these ingredients. Let somebody in. Because that's very cool. I love how you explain that. And like you said, it kind of sounds gross, but it kind of sounds very cool and how it works, at the same time.
Here, let's see. I've got to find that presentation. It's been quite a journey. I've actually, so when we first launched, while I pull this up, when we first launched Sisel Thin, I had actually taken Thin and I started weight loss then. And it worked great. I had lost 10, 15 pounds. But I never felt like it was long-term, which was interesting. I always felt like, clearly I gained it all back. I always felt like this is temporary. It's really quick. You lose weight, but then after that, there's no feeling of longer. Because it's like when you think of a diet, no one goes on a diet thinking I'm going to do this forever. So similar to the thin sense, it was kind of like, hey, I'm going to lose a lot of weight in a couple months, but then you don't have the plan after. And it was interesting with turn and burn and combining it, I've been able to lose double the amount of weight, which shows to being able to break up the fat with turn and burn and then being able to burn the fat easier with Sizzle Thin. But I've noticed I've looked into the long term now. I don't see, in a month, I'm going to be done with all of this and then just live my life how it was before that caused me to gain the weight again. Now I'm able to actually feel like this is long term, and I've consistently seen weight loss every week or every other week we do weigh-ins, and I always am like, I'm wearing heavier clothes, or I'm not going to have lost as much weight. And consistently I've lost 5 pounds the past 3 times that we've weighed in. I'm like, wow, it's just continually going. And now I'm starting just to eat healthier, and it's no longer an end goal of, I'm going to do this for a month more. I'm going to stay on this keto diet for a month or all this. I feel that I can stick this out and kind of change my life habits than just to experience the quick weight loss.
So let me ask you this, because you talk about, foregoing the desserts and different things like that, but then you also talked about just eating healthier. What are some of the more permanent things that you think you've changed in the way you and Candace eat dinner and stuff together?
Yeah. Honestly, the biggest thing that I've noticed is we always cook food, which seems, I don't know, it seems like a silly thing, but just by cooking your food is so much easier to be healthier. Because if you go to the Burger King, I guarantee you're not going to see anything on there that's healthy. Or if you go to any fast food restaurant, and even it's shocking when I go out to dinner, there's not a lot of healthy options, but there's ways to eat healthy. I always try to watch out for carbs. I don't eat any bread. Pastas, I'll always switch out. Like we'll do a casserole, but instead of doing carbs and different stuff like that, we'll do cauliflower in it, and it works out great. Instead of rice, I'll do cauliflower rice. I don't do a strict keto. When I first started, I was doing keto, but now it's more mindfulness, like carrots and stuff like that they say not to eat. I'll eat anything that's basically healthy. Our biggest thing is no heavy processed foods, mainly, and also really watching calories. It blows my mind because there's a lot of healthy alternatives too. Like even if you're feeling really snacky and you want to get ice cream, there is low calorie, healthy ice cream that, it might not taste as, honestly, I don't even notice the difference really, but just being mindful of watching. And it's funny because we always talk about turn the bottle. But turning the food packaging is huge. And it's not even, like I know a lot of people say calorie counting isn't a way to live your life, but I don't think that calorie counting is necessarily the bad thing. And I don't think that it's a bad thing to know what you're eating. For so long before, I was always just, if it tastes good, you eat it. Or you'd have candy at Halloween and you don't. It was funny. My coworker that I sit next to, we were talking about, it's like, I was looking at Kit Kats and just those little fun size Kit Kats. Just if you had 4 of those small fun size, that's your entire daily intake of saturated fat. And it's one of those things that how many when you're on Halloween or anything like that you're just sitting there with a bag or you have a bowl and you're letting kids come by and you keep pulling at it. You don't even think about those little increments that add up. So I would think that that's the biggest thing is I've just started to pay attention when I'm eating. I've started taking, I mean, not that I didn't take Sisel products religiously before, but I've really started to watch how they've affected me and seen the difference in certain ways. And I've adjusted how I've taken them. Turn and burn. A lot of people start to feel nauseous if they take it in the morning without any food. But I always make sure that I take it, right after or right before I'm expecting to eat. I don't want it on an empty stomach. I mean, that's the biggest thing. I would just say watching, being mindful of what you're eating.
Well, and I love that because like you say, we're so used to turning the bottle on the things that we, the products that we have. The same thing as when you're eating too makes so much sense. So, and you don't have to find that picture,
I found it. I get talking.
And that's fine. It's funny though. You don't even realize, I mean, I think the harness story is hilarious, but the reality is I didn't think you had 32 pounds to lose. So it's funny. Some people don't even look like they have those extra pounds on them that are unhealthy, Oh
yeah. And you don't even notice it. Like I mean, at the time, I didn't even really realize it, but then you start to before and after photos, I'd say for anyone doing any kind of change, and that's whether you're taking the age on anti-aging, or if you're taking beauty supplements and skincare or fitness, I think before and after photos are crucial because I'll have a week or two that I don't think that I'm losing weight and I get super down on it. And you start saying, like, why am I even going to the gym if I'm not seeing any results? Then you'll take a photo and you'll compare to 2 weeks ago and you're like, oh, I'm just looking at myself every day, so I don't notice it. But then you really notice the difference when you actually look at it in comparison. And I'm sure that applies in skincare and all of the other factors of taking before and after photos. But it is incredible that like even during the competition, a lot of people are like, oh, I want to lose 20 more pounds. And it's like, they're bean poles. But I mean, if you're replacing it, then yeah, there's areas. All right. I'm going to share my screen before I get off topic again. This one's actually a month ago, so you can't see it as much, but yeah, I've lost a lot of weight in my stomach. I'm 2 to 3 notches down. I was 30 at this point. I'm 20 pounds difference, and I've lost a lot more there. With our Amish community, and I guess me not wanting to show my shirt off, you can see a lot of the difference when my shirt's actually off. Mm-hmm. But you can start to see like abs and you start to feel confident, and it helps you push forward a lot more. I've noticed it a lot in my face, a lot more in my neck.
I was just going to say your face looks completely different, yeah. Completely, but it does look a lot different with the weight off.
Yeah, so I've definitely, and I wish that I don't have it up, but we'll have to share. We have a bunch of before and afters now of the competition. Like the person that's ahead right now, the transformation is incredible on his. And we'll start posting those in the next couple weeks when we end the competition, and we'll really be able to do the full transition, because that's part of the competition is we're doing before and after photos and through the whole progression. So you'll see those coming up in the next couple of weeks with a lot of great testimonies. And out in the field, we're hearing a ton of testimonies. And in the competition, the fact that some of the people on average are losing, I mean, on their teams, I look through because you'll have the occasional person that loses 2 pounds and 5 pounds, but it's incredible the amount of people in a month that are losing like 15 pounds on the competition through these team rankings. So we're seeing a lot of results. I'm feeling a lot of results. And it feels nice to be a testimony of the Sisel products and seeing how it's changed my life completely to not just looks. That's what we talk about a lot with weight loss and looks, but just the feeling and being able to, I can run a lot farther. I can do pull-ups for like the first time in my life. I can do pull-ups. And I was kind of showing off in front of my wife at the gym the other day. And it kind of shocked me too, because every once in a while I usually do the assist and I'll do a couple and it's kind of a struggle. And then she wanted to work out with me. I was like, all right, we got to do pull-ups. And I was like, I won't do the assist. And I was able to do it, all the reps without the assist. So for the first time in my life, I can do that. I can feel more flexible. I feel healthier. In the mornings in January, especially, I was feeling super droggy and not as motivated, not as much energy. And now I feel a ton of energy. And I feel like I love wildlife photography. And the other day I hiked straight up the mountain and was taking photos of bighorn rams out on the cliffs and stuff. And I could have never done that 2 months ago or 3 months ago. I mean, let alone the 3 or 4 feet on the mountain, but now it feels great. I can do activities. I feel happier. So losing weight, you look good, but you also feel great. And I can truly say that it's Sisel because of it.
Well, I love that. And, we're kind of, I've loved this. Unless you want to say anything more about your weight loss, you can do that. Maybe just kind of tell some fun things that are coming up. I'm keeping a lot of it a secret, but we got some really cool stuff coming up, don't we?
I was going to say, that's the hard part in being a marketing and new product marketing manager. Can't really talk about any of the stuff that I'm working on, but just know that there's a lot of good stuff coming up. This summer is going to be one for the books, lots of stuff. I just have to say stuff, but, and then we're also working on Mower Mountain that we can talk about, that a lot of the stuff will be coming out at. If you do have the chance to come to Mower Mountain, we are going to do a huge rodeo that we're going to be part sponsor. We'll have our own section. That's going to be a blast. We have a lot more new activities. We have new keynote speakers. We have some fun bands coming. It's going to be a huge year. And I think we have the most people coming this year than we ever have had. So it's going to be a great event with a bunch of fun stuff coming out. So I would encourage that. And that's some of the stuff that I can talk about.
Well, very cool. And I was talking about also something very big coming this fall that I'm thinking of maybe delaying the tour to, because it just is just such a big thing. And I'd love to tour and talk about it. But so, I mean, all year there is something really big happening within Sisel. It's that crazy. So we're not letting up at all. So, it's tough. I know Australia, can sometimes, especially for Mower Mountain stuff, it's so expensive to get over here and stuff. But we want to bring some things to you guys. We're definitely keeping you in mind when we talk about a lot of these things coming up and how we, let you guys in on that process and that launch and different things like that. Thomas is even working on some very exciting things that we were talking about this last week. So just so there's some very cool things for this market that's coming up as well. I mean, things for the whole company for sure that are exciting, but also things exclusively for our market that will be a lot of fun and very exciting. So it's a fun year. And one thing I love, we've been doing our Inspire calls, and it's kind of fun because we are breaking 5, 6-star, and every month we're getting a couple now. I mean, and they're just coming. It's getting hard to put one in the newsletter because we have a couple now every time. And so there's some really fun things going on. People are really growing. Their businesses are growing. And it's a really fun time for Sisel. So it's kind of the first time, in my opinion, that Sisel is really doing these, it's kind of like getting away from us as far as a lot of this growth out there that we could use to kind of keep up with. Would you agree with that, Kaden, at all?
Oh, yeah, completely.
I mean, and it's very cool. I absolutely love it. Someone says, can we have a slide of the product presentation that Kaden just had? Yep, we definitely make sure you guys can have the PowerPoints, and I'll make sure it gets in a file that I can send to you guys, and I'll send it with the wrap up of this. Kaden, anything you want to talk about as you close up?
No, I think that I covered it all.
Well, I appreciate you jumping on even after I interrupted your meeting. I know you're super busy, but it was an awesome call. I love your before and after pictures. They're awesome. And your story. You've done really a life change, in my opinion, as far as your health. And I think it's very cool. So, and as far as Candace, is she kind of joining you and all that?
Oh, yeah. Yep. We just started a new 75. It's not the 75-day hard challenge, which, but we changed it where it's 45-minute workout every day at the gym. And then the real one's 45-minute workout outside, but we just say 45-minute outdoor activity, whether it's walking or going on a hike or going on a four-wheeler ride, anything outdoors. So we make sure that we're outdoors all throughout the summer. You have to
you guys are doing that challenge.
Yeah, but it's a little modification because
right.
I mean, it's funny you read it and they're like, oh, you can't do this challenge without modifications or it's cheating. But I get that the point of, in their opinion, is that you want to get fit and look good. But in my opinion, I'm just doing a different 75-day challenge because I want to enjoy life. I want to have fun. So we're doing.
So for those of you who don't know, it's out there. You can kind of see it's all over Facebook and Instagram, and it's called the 75-day. Is it hard challenge?
Yeah, the actual 75-day hard challenge is 45-minute gym workout, 45-minute outdoor, a gallon of water, no breaks on a diet, 10 pages of a self-help or nonfiction book. And then that might be it. But
there was a couple things.
All, then you restart.
Yeah, you have to do that every day. The thing I said or read said that 90% of people drop out and they don't do it. So, and when I went down the list, like Kaden said, it's 45 minutes twice a day and all these other things and really cool things, not just for your body, but for your mind. And I loved the challenge. So I think it's very cool that you're doing that. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
When did you guys start? What day are you on?
Oh, we just started this week. So it's exciting.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So guys, you'll have to look that up and see what that challenge is all about. It's a lot of fun. Like I say, a lot of people drop out. And when you look at it, you'll kind of see maybe why here and there it might get tough over time. But Kaden, you're awesome. We really appreciate it. So much great info. And with the fun things coming up, I'm sure we'll have you back on again soon. So thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Yep. And guys, our next call is on Saturday, April 29th. So hope everybody had an enjoyable holiday. We did here too. It took a couple weeks for us to get back together, but we got, like I said, lots and lots and lots of stuff coming. Each call will have lots of announcements. We've got some coming up in the next few weeks alone. So good things going on with Sisel. If you need to contact me, email me at lmower@sisel.net. There's been a few things with some people's orders that, not that there's a big issue, but just that there's been, I've had some distributors needing a little bit of help with a few details. If you ever get, like I've said this before, if you, don't copy me anytime every single time you deal with customer service, they don't love that. But if something's going on a couple of weeks and you're not getting it resolved, absolutely reach out to me and I can jump in and see what's going on and kind of help you out with that. Because I don't want anybody to wait. We had someone who just signed up, wanting to sign other people up, and having a little glitch, something like that. We don't even want it to go a day or two. So yes, Kaden, it's such a great call. He's so awesome. He's got so much enthusiasm, a lot of fun. He and his wife, he's up for anything. And I love him. I just read about that 75-day hard challenge. And it's funny that he's doing it. I looked at it and I thought, oh, geez. So take a look at it, you guys, and see if you want to commit to it. And I'd like to know if any of you will. So with that, guys, have a rest of your great weekend. I'll get this recording out to you as well as we do have Kaden. He didn't go through his PowerPoint, which I think we've been through most of his PowerPoint before with either myself or with Tom. So I don't think you guys have missed out on a lot of it, but just in case, I'll make sure to include that PowerPoint when I send out the recording of this call. So have a great weekend, everybody. Thanks for joining me today.